My name is Milad and I'm a senior data engineer in Finland, working in one of the well-known companies in here.
I have been living and working in Finland for over 5 years now. Today I want to talk about something I think about constantly. What is actually happening to programming jobs in 26 and where is this going? I do not want to make this a purely theoretical discussion. There are already too many videos out there doing exactly that. I want to talk about this from my own personal experience. I think what has happened in the tech job market lately is something I felt very directly. And I believe my story can help you understand the bigger picture better. So let me start from the beginning of my journey here. When I moved to a new country about 5 years ago, the market was completely different. Companies were hiring aggressively and junior positions were available almost everywhere. Even someone like me transitioning from university research into industry could find work. I sent around 100 applications and got over 20 interviews very quickly. Eventually, I landed an offer within about 1 month. It was hard work, but it was genuinely possible back then. Now, when I look at what the market looks like in 2026, it is a very different story. Junior positions have basically disappeared from most job boards. Companies are asking for 5, 7, even 10 years of experience now. These are roles that used to be considered mid-level positions just a few years ago. The number of applicants for each position has also gone up dramatically. I have seen discussions where people mention 200 to 500 applications for one single job posting. That is not an exaggeration at all. That completely matches what I have observed myself working here in Finland. Unemployment in the tech sector is higher than it has been in a very long time. Companies are far more selective and careful than they were before. And this is exactly where the AI conversation becomes really important to have. A lot of people want to blame the current job market entirely on AI tools. I think that is only partly true and the reality is more complicated. What I believe happened is actually a combination of several different things happening at once. After the pandemic ended, companies hired enormous numbers of people very quickly. They expected strong and continued growth that simply never came. So they started laying people off across the entire industry, not just here in Finland, but globally everywhere. At the same time, AI tools started becoming genuinely useful for writing and generating code. And companies started asking a very reasonable question internally. Do we need as many developers as we thought we did? That combination of things, economic pressure plus AI capability, hit the junior end of the market the hardest and the fastest. I want to be honest with you about something important here. I use AI tools myself every single day in my work.
As a data engineer and even as a web developer and developer in general, I use AI all the time to write the scripts, to debug problems, to understand the problems.
To understand unfamiliar technologies faster. And they do save me time, sometimes a significant amount of time. But here is what I have noticed after using these tools seriously for a couple of years now. AI is very good at producing code that looks correct on the surface. It is much less good at understanding the full system you are building inside. It does not know your architecture decisions from 6 months ago. It does not understand why a certain design choice was made by your team. It cannot see the full picture of how everything connects together in a real production environment. This is something I talked about in a previous video, and I still believe it strongly today. Building a real system is not just about writing code. It is about understanding how all the pieces fit together properly. You need to know how data flows through the entire pipeline. You need to understand what happens when something breaks at 2 in the morning. You need to make decisions that consider performance, cost, maintainability, and team structure all at once.
No AI tool in 2026 can do all of that for you reliably. But here is the uncomfortable truth that a lot of developers and engineers don't like to hear right now.
The kind of programming that AI is replacing is real, and it is significant. Writing simple CRUD applications, building basic front-end components, generating boilerplate code for standard patterns, these things are genuinely being automated more and more. If your entire skill set lives only in that territory, then yes, the market is going to continue feeling very difficult for you going forward.
I moved from being a simple web developer to a data engineer and machine learning engineer a couple of years ago.
That shift was not accidental at all. I could see that the demand for people who understand systems at a deeper architectural level was growing. Data engineering requires you to think about scale, reliability, and infrastructure in ways that simple web development does not always demand. And I think the developers who will continue doing well are the ones moving in similar directions toward system design, toward cloud architecture, toward understanding the infrastructure behind the applications rather than just the surface layer of the application itself. Now, I also want to talk specifically about what I see happening here in Finland, because it adds another layer to this whole discussion. The job market here has additional challenges beyond just the global AI and economic situation. Companies in Finland are careful about hiring because employment laws strongly protect workers once they are hired. Laying someone off here is a significant process with real legal and financial consequences for the company. So companies think very carefully before making any new hire. That was always true, but it has become even more true recently given the economic uncertainty we have all been living through. There is also the language question, which comes up constantly in discussions about working in tech here. In my experience, English is enough for most tech roles, especially in product companies and international teams. But Finnish language skills give you a real advantage, particularly when the company works with local clients or the public sector. I have not properly learned Finnish myself after 5 years, and I can be honest that it has sometimes made certain doors harder to open. So, what does all of this actually mean for someone building a career in tech today?
I think the answer is that specialization in dev matter more than ever it have.
Being a generalist who knows a little bit of React, a little bit of Python, and a little bit of SQL is not a strong position anymore. That profile gets lost in a pile of hundreds of similar applications very quickly. But someone who deeply understands data pipelines or cloud infrastructure or machine learning deployment in production environments, that person still has very strong demand and opportunities available. I also genuinely believe that the people who embrace AI tools properly will have a real advantage over those who resist them out of fear or principle. Using AI to be more productive, to move faster, to explore unfamiliar problems more quickly, that is a completely legitimate and valuable skill now. But you still need the foundational understanding underneath to use these tools well and to catch their mistakes when they happen. I started building my own SaaS product on the side called Floweboard, which is a tool for creating animated flowcharts and diagrams. Working on that project taught me more about the full picture of building and shipping software than many years of working inside companies did. Because when it is your own product, you are responsible for everything: the architecture, the infrastructure, the user experience, the marketing, all of it. And that full picture thinking is exactly what the job market is starting to reward more than narrow technical skills alone. My honest take on the future of programming is this: the number of people needed to write basic code will decrease over time, and that process is already clearly happening. But the number of people needed to design, architect, understand, and oversee complex systems will remain strong and may even grow. The The skill that protects you is not knowing a specific language or framework. It is being able to think about systems at scale and to understand the full context of what you are building and why. 5 years ago, I started from zero in a new country with no local network and no local experience. I built a career step by step by focusing on depth, by learning the right technologies, and by always trying to understand the bigger picture of every system I worked on. That approach helped me back then, and I think it is exactly the approach that will help you navigate what is coming next in this industry.
Thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel because it helps me so much to improve my videos and to continue making videos for you. Thank you so much. See you soon.